Watson, who was scheduled to do the book review, unfortunately came down with some food poisoning last night and he was taken to hospital. So we send our best wishes to him for a speedy recovery. So I volunteered to do a book review. And I'm not going to be very long because I didn't prepare hugely for this, but it dovetails in quite nicely with the stuff that Adrian's covered. And it's quite a practical little book. It's called The Habit Guide. And it's by a chap called Leo I can't pronounce his name, Babauta. And he's got a website. Do check it out. It's called zenhabits.net. Zenhabits.net. And it's how to stick to a habit. Who has a bad habit? We all have them. Put your arms up. We all have bad habits, right? Equally, who would like to form a new habit? Right? We all want to be better at something. So, I'll share you mine that I hate paperwork, right? I've been looking to have a paperless office for decades. Even before computers existed, I had piles of paper in my in tray, right? And I wanted to get rid of that paper as quickly as I could. And I've been striving, and I'm getting really close, for a paperless office, but I haven't got there. So what happens is the paper just piles up on my in tray and I ignore it. I just go, yeah, tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. So I found this guy and he talked about how to start a new habit, right? So I just need to go to the bookmarks. So, I don't know if you can read this, but he says the basics of creating a habit are pretty simple. But it's made complicated by the obstacles that get in the way. The obstacles, by the way, are you, right? That's me. All of us are the obstacles. So first of all, you pick a preferably small habit to stick to every single day. And you make it really, really small. And only pick one. So I picked my paperwork as a habit that I wanted to get better at. And his advice is that you pick a trigger. So it could be at the same time every day, after breakfast or in the evening at a particular time, or even, you know, when you hear the chimes on the news or something, you go, right, I'm going to do this habit. Or some kind of reminder. And you do it after that trigger every single time. So it's the same time every single day, is what he suggests. And you need to get positive feedback for doing the habit and negative feedback for not doing it, right? So you need to reward yourself for doing it in some way. Perhaps give yourself your favorite cup of chocolate, hot chocolate or something after you've done it. I don't know what it is, but reward yourself for doing it. So his suggestion is do it for just 2 minutes. So his example was he wanted to lose weight and start running. And he didn't do running at all. But in 2 minutes, you don't get very far. In fact, all he did was put on his trainers, get outside the door, and that was it. Then he went back in. But he got his trainers on and he got outside and then walked back in. So when I started my habit with my paperwork, I managed to open maybe 4 envelopes, get the stuff out, didn't even look at it, and that was it. And it was so easy, it was so small, that every day I did a little bit more. But, in fact, not every day. For the first week, he says, you've got to just do the 2 minutes. So, it needs to be done. I just highlighted a few things. There's methods for habits that you do once a day, which I've found to be the easiest form. There are other kinds of habits that you do with different frequencies, multiple times a day, not every day, but weekly or twice weekly. These are harder to form. So try and find something you do every day. How many people brush their teeth every day? Everybody, right? How many people drink water every day? How many people eat every day? You know, or drink every day? Not alcohol, I mean just drinking. We all do those. These are habits we form because we know we need to do these things. So this is exactly the same. You know, something that you do every day. I'm just going to go back to the bookmarks again. I already did that one. Okay, so then he says why people struggle. Procrastination is the biggest one. You know, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start on Monday. I'll start next month. I'll start another time. So think about how you can stop that because the only way you can do it is by doing it regularly. The procrastination will disappear. So, and the story in our heads, we're saying that we're too busy or we've got something more important to do. So I love what he talks about. He makes it so super simple. In the end, the real reason we struggle with habits is because we let the stories or ideals in our heads cause resistance for us. So the ideal I had in my head about my paperwork is that there isn't any paperwork. Is that ever going to happen? No, right? So my ideal is rubbish. You know, my paperless office will never happen. I will always get bills. I will always have paperwork. But I just need to form a better habit in terms of dealing with that paperwork. I hope you're getting the sense of it. Now, motivation, right? This is the real key because you need to have a why. You need to have a big enough why, otherwise you're not going to do it. So the deeper motivations come from a place of love. You're doing this habit out of love for your family to make a better life for them. You're trying to set a healthy example for your spouse or parents. You're doing the habit with hopes of setting a good example. You're doing the habit out of love for yourself to make your life better. You want to create something that will help others out of love for them. It's amazing when you talk about that word, love, and you think about that deeply, about creating that new habit, and say love for yourself, then it does. If you think quietly about this and meditate on it, you will get more motivated in developing that habit. It's incredible. As you consider your habit, think about your why and have a deeper why. Then think of your deeper why as you get started each day with the habit. Let this emotional reason move you and to push you through the resistance, right? You need to write down the big why. This is what he talks about. Write it down, put it on the wall, on your computer, on your desk, on your fridge, wherever you can see it. If you can have a good enough, big enough why, you will push through the resistance of doing that habit. And we all want to form new habits. Just do it in a small way. And then he talks about quitting habits, right? These are the bad habits we have that we want to quit. The essence of what he talks about here is don't focus on those first, right? Develop some positive new habits first. Let them drive you towards feeling good about yourself and what you're achieving. If you've got a sense that you're achieving that new habit regularly, every single day, for a few minutes, and you can increase, he talks about increasing the minutes every week, not every day, every week. So you might go to 3 minutes, you might go to 4 minutes, you might go to 5 minutes. It may take you 10 weeks to get to half an hour. It doesn't matter. But form those habits first, the positive ones, before you start focusing on quitting habits. So January 1, everybody goes, right, I'm giving up alcohol for a month. I'm not going to eat sugar. I'm going to the gym. That's a new one, forming a new habit. But everybody struggles because they haven't been practicing up until Christmas, and all of a sudden they need to do this new thing. So check it out. So this is called The Habit Guide. Sorry, it kind of slides out. The Habit Guide by Leo Babauta. I think there is a slide somewhere on the PowerPoint, but zenhabits.net is his website, and it's a really, really highly recommended book.